Good morning, everyone. So welcome to the course Analog Circuits. Okay. So in the previous two sessions, I tried to give a clear picture about MOSFET. Okay. So what is the device structure of MOSFET? Why it is called MOSFET? And we are using the N-channel enhancement MOSFET. Okay. And we have explained the operation of MOSFET in 4 steps. Okay. So initially the junctions are reverse bias. Okay. And gate there is no voltage applied. Okay. And then second stage we have applied a VG, okay, up to the threshold voltage, and we try to form a channel. Okay. Third stage we have applied a small VDS and we allowed the current to flow from drain to source, that is the ID. Okay. And in the fourth step, what will happen if we increase the VDS to a certain extent? So at the drain side, channel will take a tapered shape. Because of that, drain current will not increase further, so it will take a constant shape. Okay. And there are two regions are the triode region and saturation region, and we have derived the ID VDS characteristic equation for that. Okay. So having this knowledge, so now whatever we are discussing in MOSFET, it will be easy for you. Okay. So those who have not gone through, I suggest you to go through that previous two sessions. Okay. Read out that and come back. Okay. So we'll take the MOSFET biasing, although I have started with something earlier, so I will take up once again. Okay. So quickly we can revise. Okay. So what is biasing in MOSFET? Okay. So as we have discussed in BJT also, so there are some few things are there. So whenever biasing means, so you have to make the MOSFET in a working stage. Okay. So that means it should be on. That means you should establish a output current. Okay, so in the case of MOSFET, now you have seen there is a channel formation and applied a VDS and drain current is flowed. Okay, so that is the stage we call it as operating point. Okay, so where you will get a ID current. So that is nothing but in the case of MOS, establishing the drain current is our first goal in the biasing. Second thing is, so we should make this ID stable. Okay, so we need to design various bias circuits. So if any bias circuit, it is varying the ID value, that is called a spread. We are discussing that spread. Okay, the spreading of ID. Okay, it should not be larger. It should be in a limit. Okay, so that is the second thing. And third thing, there are many process parameters are there like mu n, cox, all these things we have seen. So they should not vary with the temperature. Okay, so all these things we need to consider in designing a MOSFET. Okay. So just I will read out this. Okay. An essential step in the design of a MOSFET amplifier circuit is the establishment of an appropriate DC operating point for the transistor. So this is the step known as biasing we call, or the circuits we call it as bias design. Okay. An appropriate DC operating point or bias point is characterized by a stable and predictable DC drain current ID. Okay, and by a DC drain to source voltage VDS. Okay, so this is the voltage, it will be there. We are drawing the characteristics ID versus VDS, varying the gate voltage. Okay, so that is the characteristics we have seen. So that ensures operation in the saturation region. You have seen the triode and saturation region also. So don't confuse with BJT. So BJT you have cutoff, saturation and active region. So in BJT it should be in active region for operating. Whereas in the case of MOSFET, it should be in saturation region for all expected input signals. Okay. So this is about the introduction to biasing in MOSFET. Okay. So before we design the good biasing schemes, we will see what are the schemes will not work. Okay, so that's what we have discussed. Biasing by fixing VGS. So last class also we have discussed when we are applying a VDS. Okay, we try to fix the VGS. Okay, so how much we need to fix that? Okay, so how much if we fix it will be not good. Okay, the most straightforward approach to biasing a MOSFET is to fix its gate to source voltage VGS. Although VGS is required, gate to source voltage is required. Okay, but to the extent to on. Okay, to the value required to provide the desired ID. Okay, to form the channel. So this voltage value can be derived from the power supply voltage VDD through the use of an appropriate voltage divider. Okay, so this we will see the circuit. Okay, voltage divider circuit also we can see. So from that also we can do. Okay, alternatively it can be derived from another suitable reference voltage that might be available in the system also. Okay, independent of how the voltage VGS may be generated, This is not a good approach to biasing a MOSFET. Okay, so to elaborate a little more, we'll take the equation. This equation only we got stuck, right? So that's why we have taken back the characteristics part. So now you remember this equation always. Okay, so 1/2. Okay, 1/2 mu n COX W by L VGS minus VT whole square. Okay, so remember this equation, basic equation. Here there are changes also will make. So mu n COX sometimes will be substituting as Kn dash also. Okay, in the case of N channel it is Kn dash, P channel it will be Kp dash, like that. So the mu P COX like that you will be having. Okay, so Kn dash also will be substituted sometime. And this VGS minus VT voltage is also called as overdrive voltage or excess gate voltage. Okay, denoted as VOV. So this will be written like this also. VGS minus VT whole square is written as VOV square also. Okay, and mu n COX is substituted as Kn dash. Okay, so this is the basic equation. 1/2 mu n COX W by L VGS minus VT square is the basic ID/VDS characteristic equation. So in that, so these also little compressed. Okay, so this can be substituted VGS minus VT as this, mu n COX as Kn dash. It is also equally good equation. Okay, sorry. Okay, so and note that the values of the threshold voltage, okay, values of the threshold voltage VT and the oxide capacitance COX. Okay, all these terms we have seen with respect to MOSFET. Okay, so oxide layer thickness, okay, and this threshold voltage and the transistor aspect ratio, this is called as aspect ratio W by L. So vary widely among devices of supposedly the same size and type. Okay, so based on the different manufacturers and different size. Okay, size means they are W and length, right? You can increase the width or decrease the length, like that. You can do many combinations of MOSFETs. So when you do the different types, so these will vary much. Okay, so that's why fixing VGS will not be a supposedly good biasing scheme for MOSFET. This is certainly the case for discrete devices. In the case of discrete devices, that means using breadboard, you are connecting one-to-one component. So in which you will see a large spreads in the values of these parameters occur among devices of the same manufacturer's part number. Okay, even if the same manufacturers design a different part number. Okay, so different size and type. So you'll see a large spread for this case of biasing. Okay, also the spread is also large in integrated circuit also. So another, I told you, these MOSFETs can be used in integrated circuit manufacturing. Over 200 million MOSFETs can be accommodated in today's VLSI technology, we told, right? So even there also this spread will be there if you use this VGS biasing. Okay,
So how do they like accumulate all so much of MOSFETs?
that is the technology. Okay, so you have seen no nanotechnology and all you are hearing today. Okay, so you'll be
So
learning it.
that's why the size of the
Pardon?
so the size of the MOSFETs are very small. Like how much each MOSFET carry how much data the each MOSFET can carry.
How much data?
Yes, sir.
That I don't have the idea. Okay, but the MOSFETs are used, basic element it is. Okay, MOSFET is a very basic electronic device. So this alone we could not use in any application. Okay, so its combination will be using. So that you come to know as we go for VLSI subject. Okay, so if you want to construct a basic NOT gate, okay, so you have seen a basic NOT gate. It looks like simple in your digital system design. So what it will do is it will have a 0 input, it will convert it into 1, and 1 it will convert into 0. To do this basic operation, we require two MOSFETs here. One is NMOS and another is PMOS. Okay, one is P type, another is NMOS is required. So that construction and all you will be seeing in the further subject. Okay, but our analog circuits part, we will be discussing here the characteristics of this. Okay, so this is a NMOS MOSFET looks like. Okay, and there is a PMOS. There is a manufacturing technology as CMOS is there. Okay, so like this we will be having the structure. Okay, and these two will be combined and we are applying the input here 0, and here VDD will be given. Okay, and this is ground and this is the output. This is the circuit for your NOT gate. Okay, so when you apply 0 here, so this will be on. Okay, and this VDD supply, whatever is there, it will flow through this, so a drain to source, and it will come to the output. And since it is 0, so this MOSFET will not work in that case. Okay, that's why you are getting in inverter if 0 is given 1. Second case, if you give 1 here, so this will be off. Okay, and this will be on. So since it is connected to ground side, so it will have a 0 here. Okay, so this is a basic this one. Okay, inverter, simple application I'm telling. Like that, if you want to build a large amplifier or a memory circuit and all, there are more and more MOSFETs are required. Okay, so what you will do is you will use a computer aided design tool. Okay, so there you will place how many MOSFETs you required. You have done last time in simulation part, right? Just you have picked up some elements and you have placed it and you have connected with wires and all, right? The same way, there are CAD tools are there you will place these MOSFETs and you will design. We are called as analog design engineers. Okay, and from there they will condense it into a small IC chip. Okay, so they will zoom it. Okay, or it is accommodating, that is the technology. So that also you'll learn next semester. Okay, in HDL. Okay, hardware description language we'll be using. There we'll learn the digital design part also, and what is meant by that CAD tool. Okay, all these things we'll be learning. So it's curious. Okay, so that will take up next. Okay, so now our focus is on to learn the MOSFET. Okay, and MOSFET biasing, how we do, and how we do the small signal equivalent circuit, how we derive. So these basic things we are learning. Okay, so it's a good question, and you will be learning much more in the coming semesters. Okay, so this is about the spread here. Okay, so the spread occur in the drain current. We are learning very basic level. Okay, further the Vt and mu n, so this also present in the equation, Vt and mu n. So these factors are depends on the temperature here. Okay, so the result, if the affects the value of VGS, the drain current becomes much temperature dependent. Okay, and the first thing is to establish the drain current. Then the parameters, it should not vary. So ID should be predictable and stable. Third thing, the parameters should not vary with the temperature. Okay, so in all the aspects, so this fixing VGS scheme is not a good scheme. Okay, so that's why it is not considered. So just for discussion it was taken. Okay, to elaborate more, so you'll see a equation. Okay, sorry, the graphical characteristics of this. Okay, this also I have shown you. Okay, once again I'm repeating to emphasize the point that biasing by fixing VGS is not a good technique. Okay, we show in figure 2 ID VGS characteristic curves representing extreme values in a batch of MOSFETs of the same type. Okay, so in the last time you have taken the BJT. So BC107 is one manufacturing transistor, SL100 is another one. Okay, so if this is a two manufacturers, two devices, if you take characteristics, it is not exactly same. You will get a little variation will be there. Okay, so when we use the MOSFETs of the same type and if we fix the VGS value, you will see different characteristics here. Okay, so that is what the observation we are making. One will be having the device, one will be having this representation, another will be like this. And if you if you fix the VGS value and if you draw the ID, okay, if you extend this line and if where it is touching the drain current, so you'll see a large spread in the drain current. This is not acceptable. Okay, so this shows that the drain current is not stable and the MOSFET biasing will not happen. Okay, so just to show you the spread, this diagram is taken here. Okay, so the drain current can be substantial. Okay, so now we'll see the actual scheme. So what we do, this modification to this. Okay, instead of fixing VGS, so what we'll do is biasing by fixing VG, the gate voltage with respect to ground, and we use a resistor here. Okay, the resistance in the source region. Okay, so resistance in the source we will be connecting. So we have not taken complete circuit here, only the input part. Okay, so this is the thing. We have taken a gate voltage here with respect to ground, and we have connected a source resistance RS. Okay, because drain current is increasing or decreasing too much, to give the negative effect, RS is connected over here. Okay, and one more observation you make here is in the characteristics I explained. So in normally in BJT, okay, so what we'll do, we show this as collector current and we show this as emitter current. Okay, because emitter side, because in BJT the working, okay, so I is not exactly equivalent to IC, so it is having So IC is equal to alpha times IE. So some relation is there. E1 is base current is beta times IC is beta times IB. So all the three currents are not equal. That's why you will have a equation I equal to IC plus IB in BJT. Whereas in MOSFET, you have seen the characteristics. So same this one I have tilted here. So this is the gate now, and this is the drain side, and this is the source. So this indicates your capacitor here. See here. So capacitor like, okay, this is the gate electrode, and here it is the forming the channel happening. Okay, so this is the substrate, P substrate, like that we have discussed. Okay, so the drain current will be flowing to source, and I told you we will not be using the term like IS. Source current like that, I will not use the term. The drain current will be shown here. Okay, whereas the resistance connected, we will show it like RS. Okay, source side connected RS, drain side connected RD, gate side connected RG, like that we will show. But current wise, so drain current will be same at drain and source. This is one important observation you can see across the MOSFET circuits. Okay. So an excellent biasing technique for discrete MOSFET circuits consists of fixing the DC voltage at the gate, okay, VG, and connecting a resistance in the source load. So for this circuit, if we write the KVL here, only at this, okay. So if we write the KVL here, so you'll have the VG here applied, and then you have gate to source voltage exist, okay. So that is VGS, and then this voltage drop, it is called as VS also sometimes, okay. Voltage drop or voltage across source, it is given as Ohm's law, RS into ID, okay. So that is RS into ID. Okay, so this is the KVL. So instead of writing VG minus like that, straight away VG equal to written. Okay, so this is the important equation for this circuit. Okay, this kind of circuit. Okay, I'm just explaining the principle here, fixing VG and showing a resistance. Now this I will be drawing the same ID VGS characteristics as we have done earlier. For that I have written this equation in this form. So from this, what is ID? VG minus VGS by RS. Then I am writing this as minus VGS by RS, okay, plus VG by RS. Why I have written like this? Because to show you the straight line equation. If we consider ID as y-axis term in the characteristics, and this is equal to mx plus c. This is, you know, the equation of straight line. Okay. So to show you, I have written this equation like that. Where it is useful at the end, I will show you. Okay. So here VGS is the x coordinate here. Okay, so it is the x coordinate. M is nothing but minus 1 by RS in this case, and C, that is the y intercept, is VG by RS. Okay, so why I am showing there? Because in the graph I will show you directly their slope equal to minus 1 by RS. So you will not come to know how it came. That's why I have shown this. Okay. So now we'll explain this circuit. Now if VG is much greater, so how ID it is going to make it stable, that I am explaining. If VG is much greater than VGS, okay, so VG values, then ID will be mostly determined by the values of VG and RS. Okay, so from the equation also you have observed that VG by RS. Okay, however, even if VG is not much larger than VGS, resistor RS provides negative feedback. So that is the intention of providing that RS, okay, which acts to stabilize the value of the bias current ID. Okay, so this is the point. So just we'll elaborate this to explain. So initially we consider ID is increasing. Okay, in the circuit, ID is increasing. We don't know whatever reason. Okay, so we assume. Okay, equation 1 indicates that since VG is constant, from the equation, if VG is constant, then VGS will have to decrease. Okay, because we have written VG equal to VGS plus RS into ID. So when VG is constant, so VGS have to decrease. So when VGS decreases, this results in a decrease in ID, right? But what we have assumed initially, that is increase. So here you should see the same thing, but it is opposite to that action is happening. Okay, to nullify this action, the RS will provide the negative feedback. Okay, so it will make the ID should not go decrease. Okay, and that's the reason. The action of RS works to keep ID as constant as possible. So this negative feedback action of RS gives it the name degeneration resistance. So this RS action, whatever it is providing feedback action, it is called as degenerative feedback. Like that, some many terms we'll be using. So that is the thing. Okay. So this is how it is going to make the ID stable. So how we will show you with the picture. Okay. Same characteristic curve. Okay. Same two MOSFETs we have taken now. Okay, we have drawn the characteristics, and now we have drawn the equation. So whatever that equation is there, no, from that I have drawn this. Okay, so this is the VG value now. Okay, that is the x-axis. VGS is x-axis term, and this is VG, and this is the y-axis term, VG by RS, right? The slope is -1 by RS. From that equation only I have written this. So when these two slopes intersecting on the two characteristics, and if you draw it on y-axis, ID1 and ID2, what is the spread you are seeing here? Which is very small compared to previous one. Okay, compared to previous one, it is small. And how this is happened? By the negative feedback of the RS. Okay, RS we have connected there, and we have not fixed the VGS value. Okay, so this is the thing to explain you, okay, with respect to this. Now, having this basic understanding of this biasing, we'll be soon seeing two biasing circuits as we have done in BJT. Same circuits, one is voltage divider and another is the normal common source circuit. Okay, so and the problems on that. Okay, this is about the principle of biasing. So now we'll see the circuit. Actual practical circuits will be used. Okay, before that we will explain this. Superimposed on the device characteristics is a straight line that represents the constraint imposed by the bias circuit, namely equation 1, the first equation which we have considered. The intersection of the straight line with the ID VGS characteristic curve provides the coordinates ID and VGS of the bias point. And we observe that compared to the case of fixed VGS, previous diagram, here the variability obtained in ID is much smaller. And also note that the variability decreases as VG and RS are made larger. Okay, if we increase this value, then what happens? It becomes flat. Okay, whatever we have taken that slope, it becomes flat, and you will not see much this one. Okay, providing a bias line that is less steep. We have drawn that bias line, no, on the characteristic. Okay, so if you make that as flat, okay, so how it will become flat? By increasing the VG and RS value. Okay, so we can still decrease the spread. Okay, so that is what the idea. So now these are circuits we'll be discussing. There are two possible practical discrete implementation of MOSFET biasing scheme are available. So this is the first circuit. So it is same like your BJT. Okay, in BJT what you had? So this is the collector, base and emitter. So you had the RE, here RC, and then RB1, RB2, voltage divider. The same thing we have taken the case in the MOSFET. Okay, so MOSFET you have the VGS here and VG, and in the case of VG, IG current will be 0 because there is a very high resistance is there, so current will be 0. And here RD and RS is there, the same current ID will be shown on both sides. Okay, and this is the voltage divider circuit, RG1, RG2 is shown, and this is the VDD. Okay, and there VCC we used to write, here we write VDD. Okay, so this is the DC biasing circuit. If the same circuit, if you write it as amplifier, so same circuit, so amplifier will have a small signal, right? It should take a small voltage along with a small resistance will be there, and it should be coupled to a capacitor. Okay, so the same, this is amplifier circuit of the thing. First thing is DC and AC analysis we are doing. So DC analysis, what will happen? Capacitor is open circuit and this is 0. So this we are not considering, it is short circuit. That's why this portion will not be there. So that's why it looks like this. Okay, there is no portion here. Okay, so this is the DC biasing circuit we call. Okay, so from DC biasing circuit we will establish the drain current. Okay, and then we'll connect the small signal and we try to do the amplification. Okay, so that is the normal scenario. So this circuit, the problems we'll see directly how we design this circuit. Okay, so there are certain equations are there from this equation, so that you can observe. The circuit in figure C utilizes one power supply VDD and derives VG through a voltage divider. Okay, so it will get a gate voltage from this voltage divider RG1, RG2. And since IG equal to 0, gate current is equal to 0, RG1 and RG2 can be selected to be very large. Okay, so they are in the range of mega ohm. I told you in the case of MOSFET there should be very high input resistance. Okay, and normally this calculation we don't do, we will take it in the value mega ohm range, assume. Okay, but in the case of here RG1, RG2, we have to select any one value. Based on that another value will be calculated. Okay, we'll see that in the design. So this will allowing the MOSFET to present a large input resistance to a signal source that may be connected to the gate through a coupling capacitor. So second diagram is there, no, which is about the coupling to the signal source, okay, which is an amplifier circuit. Now if you see its equations, may not be clear to you the scanning, okay. So what is the capacitor will do here is it will block the DC, okay, component. Capacitor CC1 blocks DC and thus allows us to couple the signal using to the amplifier input without disturbing the MOSFET DC bias point. Okay, so once you have established the MOSFET working stage, so it should not, again there is a stability in ID should not happen and it should not vary your amplifier. This you have observed in seminar halls and all. So when speaker is speaking, suddenly their voice will go very loud that it is like a disturbance to you. Okay, so that is nothing but that. Okay, so the changing the biasing points and all. Okay, so that's they are tuning it, okay, properly the signal. The value of CC1 should be selected sufficiently large so that it approximates a short circuit at all signal frequencies of interest. Okay, so this is blocking. In the AC analysis it will block this. In the DC analysis when we are doing, it is open circuit and it is not into picture. Okay, that's what you have seen the two circuits. Okay, finally note that in the circuit of figure C, resistor RD is selected to be as large as possible. That is the drain side connected resistance to obtain high gain. But small enough to allow for the desired signal swing at the drain while keeping the MOSFET in saturation at all times. Okay, so there is another term is also there, signal swing. Okay, so whatever you have given input, corresponding large swing you should obtain. Okay, so that's why the swing term is used here. Okay, and the MOSFET should be kept in saturation, means drain current should be constant. Okay, that's what the idea. So these are some of the equations. Okay, may not be clear to you visible, don't worry. So in problem we will be using these equations. Okay, so just I will explain you. So VG is calculated as VGS plus VS. Okay, so what is VG? At the gate side we have connected here, this is VG, and VGS is gate to source voltage, and this is whatever you have connected here, this is VS, I told you, right? So the basic equation VGS is given as, so remember this always, gate to source voltage is nothing but it is gate voltage minus source voltage. This is the basic equation, remembering is easy. Okay, so the same equation written in this manner, VG instead of VG I have written, so this VS if I take this side, what will happen? VGS plus VS. Okay, so this is one of the important relation. Then VS, if resistor is connected here, if resistor is connected, then from Ohm's law, the drain current into that resistance will be the VS value. If it is not connected, VS value is 0. Then VG is equal to VGS. Okay, so since here resistance is connected, so it is ID into RS. Okay, then another VGS value is calculated as VT plus VOV. Okay, because we know that VGS minus VT is overdrive voltage. From this, VGS is given as thermal voltage, threshold voltage plus overdrive voltage. Okay, this is another important relation in the design required. Then VS is ID into RS, already told you. From this, RS is equal to VS by ID. So how to calculate the RS value? So the equation is VS by ID. Okay, then second part, VD equal to VDD minus IDRD at the output side. Okay, so if we apply the KVL, so you'll get VDD minus ID into RD, nothing but the drain voltage. Okay, so from this RD can be calculated. Okay, from this equation RD can be calculated. These are the two important calculations we'll be doing in this. RG1 RG2 will not be doing much. Okay, so you'll be using selecting one and another value will be calculated, normally in the range of mega ohm. Okay, and this is another relation, you know, I'm telling ID is equal to Kn dash. Okay, so W by L VOV square. Okay, so this also we'll see that. Okay, so don't worry about this, so just listed out the equations of that design. Okay, so this is the problem. This is another circuit. Okay, so problem we'll see in the next class maybe. This is another biasing circuit. This is also equally used, but here voltage divider is not used. Instead, a RG is connected at the gate side. Okay, and remaining all it is same. So RD is there, RS is there. Instead of voltage divider, it is connected to ground like this. Okay, and another thing is this side we have connected another supply. Okay, and dual power supply. So this is VSS and this is VDD. Okay, that is only the change, and this also a very good biasing scheme for MOSFET. Okay, So this also we'll see the design. So when two power supplies are available, as is often the case, the somewhat simpler bias arrangement of figure E can be utilized. So this figure can be utilized when you have requirement of a two power supply. Previous one was a single power supply. The circuit is an implementation of equation 1. Okay, so same as equation 1 what we have used previous circuit, but only difference here is the VG should be replaced by VSS. Okay, because previous case VG you have considered, no? So that voltage divider voltage VG something we have shown like this, that should be now VSS. Okay, so from this what is the equation now? You can modify this equation. So VG is equal to VSS. So this equation is VSS equal to VGS plus RS into ID. So this is your equation 2. Okay, so this circuit, this is the equation. Okay, using this equation we will be designing same way, RD value, RS value, and RG value normally we'll select it. Okay, won't do the design. Okay, even if the design value comes as kilo ohm something, we could not take that. We have to take in mega ohm range only. That's why nobody bothers to go to calculate the RG value. Okay, so RS and RD we try to calculate. Okay, so resistor RG here establishes a DC ground at the gate and presents a high input resistance to a signal source that may be connected to the gate through a coupling capacitor. So this is the biasing circuit. Again, same way you can connect the coupling circuit and you can show the amplifier circuit. Okay, so these are the two biasing schemes we have in MOSFET. So now it's a design part. Okay, so problems you need to understand, then you will be understanding how you design that. Okay, so this is about the problem. So this will take up in the next class. Okay, so it may not be complete today, so we'll take it in next class.